All right, so today I'm gonna be taking you guys through my top 3 back exercises that took my back from this to this. Or wait. Yes. Now I'm not gonna gatekeep these from you guys. I'm just gonna tell you right away that it's lat pull downs, lat pullovers, and chest supported or T-bar row. However, in this video, I'm gonna be showing and explaining exactly how I do them, from form cues to rep scheme to little tips and tricks that really help me feel that mind muscle connection for my back. And hopefully these will be helpful for you. So a couple thoughts before we get started. Number one, this is not science-based at all. This is just a culmination of my experiences as to lifting and like what has really helped me develop my back. I've learned to really love these exercises, and so hopefully they'll help you too. Secondly, I train more so for aesthetics and bodybuilding, so you'll notice that a lot of these exercises focus on my upper back to really develop that mass, as well as my lats to really grow out that V taper for that more aesthetic look. And next, I want to acknowledge that working out your back is very difficult because the mind muscle connection is just not quite as easy as if you were working on chest. With anything, if you can't see it, then it's harder for you to really understand it and furthermore develop it. So I actually really recommend recording your back workouts so that you could see if you have any different imbalances, see if you're pulling more so in one way or the other. That way you can keep yourself in check with form and also just understanding your back more. And lastly, I'm not the type of person to really put a huge emphasis on rep scheme. However, just a general rule of thumb that I like to follow is like 6 to 10. In terms of sets, I do 5 sets and I pyramid in weight for the first 4 sets. And then on that last 5th set, I basically just do a drop set until failure. I think rep scheme helps when you're really trying to focus on hypertrophy and progressive overload. That way you can track. But usually I kind of just try to push my body till failure or until I have a couple reps in reserve, and then basically making sure that I end my drop set with a lot of lengthened partials, which is basically like when you're done with the set and you're failing, still pumping out as much as you can with limited range of motion. That way you still can squeeze out as much as you can. With that, let's hop right in. Number 1, lat pull downs. Now for all intents and purposes, I'm gonna be focusing on wide grip because there's wide grip, medium grip, and close grip, but I do wide grip the most. Now when you're getting into position for lat pull downs, you really wanna make sure that your legs and your quads are locked into the seat arrangement. A good way to test this is to use a lower weight, grab the bar, and then bring it down, and then making sure that when you're seated, your legs are locked under the pad. So that way you're not moving around. Legs are locked in, really feel that stretch. A lot of people tend to kind of like scrunch their body in a little bit, but I like to fully get the stretch, retract my scapula, stay tight, and then pull down. And as you're pulling down, think of your elbows trying to get to your pocket. Really keep that elbow in, and you'll feel much more in your lats and in your mid back. When I'm using a lower weight, I actually close my eyes to really make sure I'm stretching my lats as far as I can, because with the way that I train, it's really like weighted stretching and really making sure that I get the full stretch when I'm in the eccentric and then getting the full contraction when I'm in the concentric. Next, I really like to use a thumbless grip. So you're basically holding the bar like this. Personally, I just feel the mind muscle connection a lot better when I'm using a thumbless grip. And I think it's because it allows me to focus more on keeping my elbows in, and it makes me focus more so on my lats rather than using my forearms to really bring it down. This is not a must have, but I actually really like using Versa grips. Basically, I put the bar in here and then I grab on. I really like these because they're pretty much workout straps and they really help me not allow my forearms to take over in the workout, which is what you want to avoid because this is a back workout. And as always, you always want to make sure that you're trying to control that negative for each of your reps on the eccentric part of the lat pull down. And again, my rep and set scheme for this is I pyramid and weight for the first 4 sets, and then on that 5th set, I do a drop set basically until failure. Number 2, lat pullovers. Oh my God, guys, I can't tell you how much I love this exercise. This is one of the few exercises that I incorporated later into my back programming, and it completely changed my mind muscle connection to my lats and just my back overall. So first off, with the attachment, like I either use a rope or a bar, basically just whatever's available. I think both of them work really well. The rope attachment is more so for just like a neutral grip, and the bar is more so for just kind of a wider grip, but it's still pretty much the same technique. You want to make sure that the height for lat pullovers is above you, so that way when you're grabbing upwards, it's at the highest point of the machine. Try to keep your legs shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees, and hinging at the hip. Now, similar with the lat pull downs, you're gonna really get that stretch in the starting position with your back straight. You're gonna pull the bar down with slightly bent arms and really squeeze your lats. Now, when you're bringing the bar down, you're gonna slightly lift your chest up to get that squeeze and really drive your elbows to your hips. What really helps me with my mind muscle connection is when I'm at the peak of the contraction, I really squeeze at the end to make sure that I'm feeling all my back muscles. And then you're gonna wanna control the eccentric with your lats, slowly bending over on the negative. Again, I like to do about like 6 to 10, or really making sure that you feel that contraction. That's the most important part. Number 3, T-bar row or chest supported rows. Honestly, this one is kind of a goated back exercise. Personally, I feel it all over my lats, all over my mid back, all over my mid traps, and you can do a decent amount of weight on these, so they're just really fun to do in general. Now, similarly, you just want to make sure you're going slow and controlled on the concentric and the eccentric, and then on the negative, I really want to make sure that I'm stretching at the very end. I really try to keep my elbows in to focus on my mid back, or you can do the wider grip to focus more so on your upper back. All right, so I know I said 3 back workouts, but for those that stayed, I actually have this 4th extra bonus one for you guys. It's nothing crazy, but I feel like including this workout in my back routine completely changed the way my physique looked. And that is face pulls. Technically, I think you could argue this one for being shoulders. I mean, it is part of your delt because it's a rear delt exercise, but I count it as back because it's behind you and you can't see it. I also think people have a tendency to not really focus on their rear delts, and it's a pretty underdeveloped muscle in a lot of people's physiques and bodies. I think adding this will really help with your shoulders and your back. And overall, it just looks more aesthetic when you have a more developed rear delt. Let me know in the comments if you actually think it's a back or a shoulder workout. I kind of throw them in both of my days for back days and also just like my shoulder days. So for face pulls, I like to adjust the height to eye to head level, and there's actually a very specific way that I like to hold the ropes. You want to hold them with your index finger and your middle finger. So literally just imagine the rope over here and you're holding it like this, and then you're basically gonna pull to your face and really get in there. Pause. Once I started including this hand placement to my face pulls, my rear delt gains like grew exponentially. You're gonna wanna pull to your face or a little lower than your face. Full stretch, nice and controlled, hold and squeeze. And on the negative, really let your back and your shoulders and your rear delts stretch. Again, try to go slow and really make sure that you're feeling the contraction where the muscle actually is. And again, the back is kind of a weird place and the rear delt's kind of like a weird spot. So this could also be a good point where you record so that you could see if it's being flexed or not. Guys, I love this one because it just feels so good. And again, it completely changed the way my physique looked from the side and just from the back too. And there you have it, guys. Those are my top 3, secretly 4 back exercises that completely changed my physique and my back. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions as to form, cues, rep scheme, and I'd be more than happy to help and answer them. Also comment down below if you disagree or if you have any of your favorite back workouts that you want to share. I would love to try and incorporate new back workouts that maybe I don't typically do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Mad love, peace. Back shots! You don't want to be like this. That's terrible. But also, this is kind of crazy. Oh my god.
That's a crazy. Oh damn. You okay?
I'm.
Wait, hit your nuts.